Johnny Manziel was one of the most polarizing college football players of all time. As a freshman at Texas A&M, Johnny led the Aggies to an 11-2 record. The highlight of this dream season in 2012 was a 29-24 victory against the defending national champion Alabama Crimson Tide. Johnny Football tore apart the Tide's defense like nobody had ever done, throwing for 253 yards and 3 total touchdowns, 2 in the air and 1 on the ground. This was his coming out party, his highlight game in a season where Johnny would be the first freshman ever to win the Heisman Trophy. This game on November 10th, 2012, was supposed to be the birth of a man that would go on to have a great and long football career. Unfortunately, it was the climax in the career of a person that was a boy among men in the NFL and lasted just 2 seasons before being cut by the Browns in March of 2016. So today, I'm going to analyze where did it all go wrong. How did this man, that was the very first freshman Heisman winner, fall out of football just 4 years later? What caused his father to say that he hoped that his own son would go to jail? Fear not, football fans, because I am here to answer these questions. When talking about why Johnny Football was an utter failure, I don't think that anyone can ignore the fact that he played for the Cleveland Browns, also known as the worst organization in professional sports. More specifically, he played quarterback for the Browns, a position that has had 26 starting quarterbacks since 1999. To compare this to the likes of other teams, New England has only had 5 starting quarterbacks since '99. Now, obviously none of those 26 starters that Cleveland had were anywhere near the likes of Tom Brady, but at the very least Manziel had some talent. More talent than guys like Connor Shaw or Thad Lewis ever had. The issue in the first year of the Johnny Manziel project was that the Browns simply didn't give Manziel much of a chance to start. Brian Hoyer started the majority of games for the Browns that year, as Manziel only received 2 starts. His 2 starts in 5 games that he appeared in 2014 were less than impressive, as he went just 18 of 35 for 175 yards with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. To be fair to Manziel, he was coming in cold and rusty in a lot of those games, so maybe his play wasn't quite as terrible as the stats said it to be. With the departure of Hoyer to the Texans in 2015, Manziel received much more playing time, appearing in 10 games and starting in 6. His stats did look a bit better, as his completion percentage and total QBR both took a step up. He even had several serviceable and even good games against the likes of teams like the Steelers and 49ers. His career seemed as though it may finally have come together. It seemed as though the kid that had taken the college football world by storm may finally have shown some potential to be a great player at the next level. But then, it all came crashing down because of one thing: his lack of responsibility. Now, Johnny and his lack of responsibility and run-ins with the law dates back to his early college days. On June 29th, 2012, Manziel was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, failure to identify, and the possession of a fake driver's license. A year later, Manziel tweeted that he, quote, couldn't wait to leave College Station after he received a parking ticket. And in that same year, allegations began spreading about how Johnny overslept at the Manning Passing Academy, leading him to leave the camp early. There are also several other incidents that I could bring up here, including when he was accused of being paid for autographs that he signed, which led for the NCAA to step in and suspend Manziel for the first half of Texas A&M's 2013 season opener against Rice. While some were hoping this was just a foolish college kid that would figure himself out in the NFL, they could not have been more mistaken. His bad behavior and overall lack of really applying himself to play football translated into the NFL. As a matter of fact, things got off to a bad start from the very beginning. 21 teams passed on Manziel, including teams like the Jets, Bills, and Cowboys. When Jerry Jones of all people passes on you because of character issues, you know there is something wrong. Former Cowboys coach Barry Switzer even went as far to call Manziel a prick and that he doesn't like his antics. But anyways, in a preseason game, Manziel was fined $12,000 for flipping off the Redskins sideline during a preseason game against them. Maturity was a big factor in why Brian Hoyer was eventually able to win the quarterback competition between the two. Manziel was also involved in a video of him partying back in 2015 that caused the then Browns coach Mike Pettin to demote him to third-string quarterback. After this, things just seemed to snowball out of control for Johnny, as many incidents continued to not go his way. For example, he was seen in Las Vegas at a casino the night before the Browns' final game of the 2015 season. There was also the whole domestic violence case involving his ex-girlfriend, in which he was eventually indicted for misdemeanor assault. His agent Eric Burkhart and then his second agent Drew Rosenhaus both quit representing him. All of these problems plagued Manziel, causing him big problems both legally and career-wise with football. However, the biggest problem in terms of his professional career was that Cleveland released Manziel after just 2 seasons on March 11th, 2016, and as of the making of this video, he has not gotten another chance at an NFL gig, and it appears that he is far from one. If NFL owners aren't willing to take a risk with someone like a Colin Kaepernick, a man that has no significant legal problems, then they will not touch Johnny football with a 10-foot pole. Luckily for Johnny, there may just be a light at the end of the tunnel after all. And despite further challenges, including his dad calling him a druggie and stating that he hoped that Johnny would end up in jail, Johnny is now back and cleared to play in the CFL, which I think is good for him. The NFL spotlight was obviously too big for a young man who was immature and naive. I wouldn't mind him coming back after a bit to try and pursue a comeback in the NFL, and I think it was certainly the right move for him to use the CFL as a potential stepping stone to get back into the NFL. Luckily, it now seems as though he's on the right track and that he is on a way to living a good and happy life. So that pretty much concludes it. To summarize, the two main factors that derailed Johnny Football's once very promising career was that he was brought into a system that was infamous for being the worst in the league, and more importantly was that he simply lacked discipline and responsibility. I do wish Johnny the best, and while he most certainly has made some questionable decisions, I think that he truly is a good kid at heart. But anyways, that's all I've got for this video. I thought that it would be a good video to put out because of the potential 0-16 season that the Browns are facing. Also, fun fact, I had no idea that Johnny had been cleared to play in the CFL before I made this, but ironically, right before I was finishing the recording process, the news broke of him being cleared for the CFL. Anyways, if you like this video, I would very much appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel. If you would like to be notified of when I upload a video, then please click the bell in the bottom right hand corner to get those. Also, feel free to share your thoughts on the video in the comment section, and you all have a great day.